Rise and shine, everybody. It's time to get the day started with the morning show of record for the homestead community. It is the Farm2Table Direct Show morning edition, and here we go. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Teresa Jukowitz, being the first one in today. Glad to see you all here this morning. This morning, we are going to continue discussions about healthcare insurance and maybe a few things more. So we are going to get right into things this morning. I don't know about where y'all are at, but first, this is for those that are, excuse me, here with me and they're regulars. Y'all know this, but to those who may be watching first time, this is a live chat show, so feel free to chime in with any comments or thoughts. Well, I don't know about where y'all are at, but I think somebody should have been building an ark. It's been raining all night. I'm quite sure that it is a muddy mess out there. But let's head on over to Dyer Family Farm for the Redneck Weather Report and see what Jack has to say.
Morning, Rednecks. It is 52 degrees this morning, January the 30th, 2025. We got a 4-mile-an-hour wind out of the west, and it still feels like 52 degrees. We're going to get to 59 degrees. Good morning, Rooster. God bless y'all. We'll see.
All right. As you can see, good morning, Scotty. Glad to see you this morning. Glad to see y'all in early and hopefully staying with us, and we will jump right in on this. Thanks, Jack, for that update out there. Very similar here, starting the day warm, not going very much temperature adjustment through the day, but uh, anyway. Oh man, Scotty, you're still in those digits. 19 real feel 0. I'm sorry. Hey, listen, warmer air is blowing up from the south. We're getting rain from it right now. Maybe it'll drift its way to the northeast up there. But anyway, that is the weather. Here it is warm and rainy. So that's what's going on. So now for today's reality smackdown. I'm going to start off the morning with good morning, Joy. Glad to see you with us. I'm going to start off with this one right here. Plane carrying 64 collides with military helicopter near Reagan National Airport. That happened late last night. I seen that just before while I was working on today's show. But anyway, they're still searching plane. Things have been halted in and out. Other planes diverted while they search for survivors in the Potomac River. Unfortunately, there was a collision, an explosion, and things landed in the Potomac. So please be in prayers for those involved in that, and hopefully they are able to rescue and save some. But anyway, it is tragic way to start the news, but it is a top headline. Some other stuff. Trump to sign major school choice executive order that could upend the public school system. And what that is basically, like I said, President right there, school choice. His plan is to direct that federal funding, federal taxes, whatever you want to call it, can be used to private. People can basically redirect it to private schools where they want their kids to go and that type of thing. We've been implementing in phases. I think it's got to be close to fully implemented here in Arkansas doing a school choice, and I know other states have implemented that. So that's a positive for raising schools, and it's going to force the public school systems to change their ways and uh, get things going in the right direction. But anyway, speaking of Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders plans to enact no cell phone policy for Arkansas schools. I personally think it's a good thing. I know we've had it. Some of our local schools here have, on test basis and that type of things, have implemented it as an individual school, and it's a popular thing going around. In a lot of states, even the blue states, they're finding, of course, the distraction and other things that are going on. From disciplinary issues, attention focused issues. That the cell phone is what we all know it to be. A great tool, but a distraction. Anyway. And SpaceX is confirmed. Next headline: SpaceX confirmed to return NASA astronauts from the International Space Station. Uh, uh, after several attempts, Boeing and their programs and stuff have not been able to get it done, and these gals been stuck up there for some time now. So President Trump reached out to SpaceX, Elon Musk, and said, "Go get those astronauts." So I guess that's what's happening. So that is today's reality smackdown. It is, what is it? Today is Thursday. Okay, all right. Well, it is Thursday. How about that? Uh, the week is going on here. Anyway, no, for this day in history, January 30th, 1933, the Lone Ranger begins a 21-year run on ABC radio. Uh, for those, well, I don't know that anyone on here is of age that they remember that things started on the radio long before television. And you ever get a chance to go back and listen to some of them old radio programs, quite interesting from a storyteller perspective. 1956, Elvis Presley records his cover version of Carl Perkins' song Blue Suede Shoes. Wow, what a hit. You can do anything you like, just stay off my blue suede shoes. Anyway, 1960, the CIA okays Lockheed to produce a new U-2 aircraft in Project Oxcart. The U-2 spy planes, very, very cool. The SR-71's my favorite, but the U-2 is pretty cool as well. Anyway, 1973, jury finds Watergate defendants Liddy and McCord guilty on all counts of conspiracy, burglary, and illegal wiretapping. That is, of course, the Watergate scandal. G. Gordon Liddy, and I can't remember the other guy's first names, but anyway, big deal with the Nixon administration, and led to the famous "I'm not a crook" and Nixon's resignation from presidency. Anyway. After recent years, kind of makes him seem like pretty easy. He wasn't a bad dude, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. 1975, Erno Rubik applies for a patent for his magic cube invention, later to be known as Rubik's Cube. I don't know how many of y'all remember playing with them. I still enjoy messing with a Rubik's Cube if I come across one. Anyway, 1977, the eighth and final part of Roots is the most watched U.S. entertainment show ever at 100 million views. That's crazy, 100 million. Highest ever. Sports programs, Super Bowls, nothing. Anyway, 1992, inventor Ray Kurzweil publishes his first book, The Age of Intelligent Machines, on artificial intelligence, predicting the popularity of the internet. He was ahead of his time. 1998, the Howard Stern radio show premieres in Indianapolis, Indiana on WNAP 93.1 FM. And radio has not been the same since the era of the shock jocks had begun in full. Anyway, and fast forwarding quite a ways, scientists in Central China, 2017, scientists in Central China revealed the oldest known human ancestor, 540 million year old Saccharitis, in a fossil. Curiosity there. Didn't know the planet had been. Guess depends on your perspectives. But anyway, that is this day in history for January 30th. Anyway, so moving right along, we're going to jump into this discussion this morning. I will, before we get started in this, because I mean, it is, there's a lot that goes into this stuff, so I'll start it in, and I'm going to end the show the same way. Tomorrow, for a couple of Fridays now, we've done what we called Open Chat Friday, and I mean, it was fun, and I mean, it's great, but what it boils down to, this is where I need y'all guys, those of y'all that are my regulars especially, but anybody who wants to jump on. Open Chat really is the fact that I don't have a particular show topic picked out. Now, I will have notes and I'll have things here just on the off chance that, well, nobody wants to talk about anything. So I'll have stuff to talk about. But it is the day of the week where you, the listener and the viewer in the chat, can make comment or ask questions, and we can discuss what's on your mind, or and maybe we can all learn together that way. But it's the one day of the week that y'all all participate anyway. It's open chat. The chat's there every day. But basically, the purpose is that y'all can bring things up or ask questions or whatever, and we get discussion going back and forth, and that makes the show for Friday. So we're going to try it one more time tomorrow, see how it goes. Anyway, moving right into, and I meant to say this at the beginning so the people who are clicking in know what we're talking about, what's going on here on the morning show. But today, risk adjusted factor score. Did you know about this? Because I didn't, and it's quite interesting. Came across, and this give credit so I don't get into copyright troubles. This came from Joel Salatin's news, his blog that he does, Musings of a Lunatic Farmer, that I get in my inbox, and quite interesting reading, and it brought the topic up, and I am going to get into it because it is quite interesting. Risk adjusted fact score. Well, what is it, you ask? Well, let me see if I can explain this in the best way possible. Risk adjusted fact scores. It's kind of like a credit score. Everybody's familiar with credit scores to determine illness. Well, every medical procedure has a code. And when doctors submit your medical procedure for reimbursement, they pick a code for whatever it is that they did. Those thousands of codes have extremely specific definitions, and over time, those codes accumulate your medical risk or the complexity of the doctor's decision regarding your care. And if you've ever wondered why doctors and hospitals can't give you a price for a procedure, this is the quickest explanation. They don't know. All of your procedure codes add up to a risk factor adjustment score, or RFS. The higher your risk factor adjustment score, the more money the doctor gets for whatever procedure. And that means that all things are on a sliding reimbursement scale depending on that score. For example, a patient with type 2 diabetes who goes in for a toe infection will have a higher RFS than a patient who has nothing else wrong except the toe infection. Hey, good morning, Tracy. Glad to see you in with us. Glad to join. We are talking about risk adjusted factor score or risk factor adjusted score, depending on how you read it or how it's written. Kind of talk about what it is. It's basically your medical credit score. Coding is a huge part of that. When a doctor, they've got codes and they've got thousands of codes. And I will tell you from what I know of the coding industry, when they put those codes in, especially in the hospitals and stuff, they're looking for the code combination that is going to make the hospital or the doctor the most amount of money. So they're picking the right codes. And those combinations, for example, if you have, like the example I was just saying, you have diabetes and they're treating you for diabetes, but then you come into a clinic or whatever for what would be normally routine stuff, the price that they get reimbursed or the price per patient is higher because they're also treating you for this. And so it's a fancy mathematical way of coding things up to get paid more money for a procedure. So, how does that affect you? Well, obviously, the more money, that's bad. Yeah, yes, Teresa. That's about the simplest way to put it. That's bad. And we're going to get into that for the why that's bad. Besides the painfully obvious, is obviously now you have a situation where, it incentivizes additional procedures and additional diagnoses, and even complex and difficult diagnoses in order to raise that score. So this, kind of perversely incentivizes doctors to over-label illness and to keep you coming back for additional issues. Now, the rationale for this system was to reward doctors who saw more complicated patients, reward the difficult decisions. But without further stipulations or guidelines, it operates as an economic incentive for doctors to not really get you well, but so that you can maintain dependency on the healthcare system. The more sick you become, the more money they make. That's just kind of helps that make a little bit of sense when you think about our our medical system, and where things are at with that. And now, and I was doing some reading around, once I got onto this, and um, Centers for Medicare and Medicare Service actually puts out a fact sheet. This was way back in 2015, but uh, there's value modifiers, 30-day all costs. In fact, I'm gonna go ahead and share this with y'all so y'all can see this. Let's see where we're at here. No, that one. Yeah, let's share. Okay, this is, I'll go back up here. Fact sheet, April 2015. Value-based payment modifier program. And this has to do with tax and Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So this is particularly to those, but so much is operated on uh, that system. Treat beneficiaries varying clinical complexity by removing differences in health and other risk factors are not under the TENS control. The fact sheet summarizes what risk adjustment management is. But anyway, uh, I'm going to stop sharing. It's not want to act right. But basically, go ahead and pull this over in a different way. Absence of risk. In the absence of risk adjustment, basically, doctors or treatment clinics, whatever, treating a large number of beneficiaries with multiple chronic conditions could perform worse on certain quality and cost measures than those with relatively healthy beneficiaries. In part, differences in their beneficiary populations, adjustment facility facilitates more accurate comparisons for accounting and differences, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, what it boils down to, like I was saying, is the more stuff you have, the more complex your case is, the more money they will pay this doctor. Now, like I said, it had a good intention, like a lot of those things, but quickly it has absolved into um, basically incentivization to find things wrong with you to make you sicker because even though this is that risk sheets from Medicare, Medicaid, and that has a lot to do with it. Private insurance is billed the same way. Coding and billing and everything is all done the same way in the coding office. And there are people that work for doctors and hospitals that's their sole job in life every day is to code, and they are putting together the best codes. So since we know that's what's going on, and Bro doesn't appear to be with me this morning. Guess he's had some hard days. He's over working on one of his rent houses this week, doing some renovations. So he's probably worn smooth out. But anyway, but that's okay. Me and him were talking. Him and his wife have had this experience in that they don't have health insurance. So they go to doctors' offices or places, whatever. They do some online things. They do their own lab work. They set up the lab and you'll get lab work and everything done privately because it saves them money. It's cheaper than maintaining insurance. But they had a thing worked out with a local clinic, and they had a certain fee for a visit, office visit, and for example, like $300, I think, or something like that, for to go in and do this thing. Well, they go in, they do it, and they say, okay, send us the bill, we'll pay it, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they get the bill, and it's like $1,200. So my brother, very calmly, calls down and talks to them, gets to the right person, and they explain that, yes, that was the original, that was the price, but they had changed their coding guidelines to align up with the AMA, which is American Medical Association codings, and that put the price because she had. Good morning, farming nature's way. Welcome in. Glad to see you here. I don't know if I've seen seen you on the chat before, so welcome in for the first time that I remember seeing you. Glad to have you with us, and I like the name of that title, Farming Nature's Way. Have to may have to inquire more about that in a minute, but anyway. That $1,200 they had recoded, but because my sister-in-law is diabetic, everything that she was being treated for now had a higher value. So even though she was coming in for routine stuff, because she was diabetic, it was coded different and it billed more. I mean, so that's a direct, even for somebody like my brother who pays as he goes, and so it has caused them to seek out alternative ways of handling their medicine. So. Anyway, new ideas for healthcare in relation to what we're talking about. Good morning, Troy Sutton. How are you doing? And hopefully you have a blessed day too. We all hope that for everybody, that we have a blessed day. Uh, anyway, new ideas for healthcare, because people are tired of this system. People are tired of what's going on, and they're beginning to look for alternatives, including uh, doctors, medical treatment people who actually want to help people. Um, so I'm going to talk just a little bit more about that for just a second. Now, this is pretty cool. Uh, there are surgeons, doctors with several clinics that are, and this is going on in different places, but they're working to create comprehensive, wellness oriented medical facilities. Yeah. Um, Part of what some of these are wanting to do is offer a clean food dispensary. Quote, this is medical, so you can't call it a grocery store. But they want this on site so patients can find and acquire real food as part of a doctor's visit. So basically, these doctor teams are wanting to help their patients find good food. Uh, and so, Joel was writing this, and how this wellness oriented clinic works when American healthcare system only incentivizes sickness. Now, this doctor admitted that this is a hard nut to crack, will eventually crack when insurance quits paying by the episode uh, and pays the patient by the year. And he said this would become widely accepted by 2030. In other words, each insured person gets a certain amount of annual expenditure, so a certain amount of money that, whether it's private insurance, Medicaid, whatever, they're willing to expend on you. And when that cap occurs, no more money, period, end of discussion. Um, apparently, in the alternative medical community, this is an accepted protocol to let doctors get paid for wellness. Now, those who remember, we talked about this earlier in the week, and it's why it's come back around. Is this? We had that discussion, and then this came into my attention, and it let us know, one, I'm on target, and two, this is something that's ongoing. It's a discussion around the country, and it's something we need. Uh, so, as we were just talking about, right now the system incentivizes sickness. Doctors don't get royalty or commission from insurance companies for keeping you well. If there was an annual limit where the doctor shared in your non-use of the allotted amount, in other words, if there's money left over, they get a cut, they get a bonus, and suddenly doctors would be incentivized uh, to keep you out of their clinics instead of in their clinics. So that's just kind of an interesting. Good morning, bro. I'm glad to see you in. I was just saying you were probably snoozing in this morning after your hard labors. But anyway, and I had shared your situation with the medical billing and kind of how things work when you went in, and the price jumped because of coding changes. Um, but anyway, so this idea of healthcare where it's paid to keep you well. Now, we talked about this earlier in the week, the old ancient Chinese method where they received a payment as long as you were well. When you got sick for a period of time, if it was more than a day or two, that's when they stopped getting paid. So again, it was an ancient incentive to keep the doctor, wanted money coming in, and he wanted to be fed. So his job was to keep you healthy. Uh, and now I don't know what y'all. I mean, hopefully y'all see this the same way I do. That if we can incentivize doctors, or if those out there that are wanting to be doing it the right way, where they get paid to keep you healthy, not paid to keep you on 10,000 medications and in the doctor's office every week and sick. Well, that that would go a long way to changing healthcare and changing actually be healthcare, preventative medicine care instead of there's a pill for everything. But the more people that are involved in that now. One of the things I just talked about was the clean food dispensary. I love this idea that inside of a medical facility, yep, it's paid to keep you broke. Yep, I'm going to share that. Uh, yeah, it's paid to keep you broke, all right, because if you're paying medical bills, you are broke, and then you're physically broke. That is absolutely right. But anyway, this idea of medical. Medical tyranny, bro. An idea that these wellness facilities or whatever that some a good one, um, you know, having food, clean food, healthy food, and using the food as medicine, as we've talked about before, we've referenced here. But having this on site as a part of their clinic, and the doctor can essentially prescribe you a healthy diet, and they've got stuff there to provide you and show you where that healthy diet is and link you up to that healthy diet. So it's not a grocery store because it's medical, but it helps patients find and acquire real food as a part of a doctor's visit. And like I said, that's doctors who want to help their patients and want to actually, be involved in their wellness. We've said our food is what we put into ourselves, our gut biomes. We've talked about this the last couple of days. This is just another factor into that. Uh, Wanting to give y'all a complete, really, it turned into what I thought was going to be a 1 day show topic is actually spread now across 3 days, just simply because so many things popping up, which tells me that this is a big issue. I mean, I've already known this, but it's a huge issue within society and within community. And, homesteading and homesteaders, those who or eat healthy already, or they have resource through farms, the healthier you're eating, the better chance you're having of being healthier. Um, and that's something Keith and I are working on. We've talked about our self-sustainable scale, self-reliant scale, and what we're doing with that. And so, it's an attempt to be healthier by the way we eat. It's also an attempt to be prepared, for things that may happen so that we have food, and we're able to take care of that. So I think that, just so you understand, this was kind of an information thing, but also just kind of an eye-opening thing for myself when I first heard about it, Keith when I shared it with him, and that these are the things behind the scenes at your medical. Oh man, I'll share that message. Let's see, on my list to visit your channel from another time. There you go. So glad you're jumping in, getting into the community. Uh, Farming Nature's Way. The Every Sunday evening starts about 5 o'clock in the evening. Goes till about 9 o'clock at night. There is Money Pit Homestead. There's the Wild Huckleberry. There's Dyer Family Farm, and then Red Dirt Rooster Road. So it's about 4 hours there of live chat events where you can come in, and there's a whole community there that talks about a lot of these things. So it's Sunday evenings. I don't know if you're busy those times, but it's a good time to check in, meet a lot more people from the community, many of whom are here in the chat with us right now, including our good friend Scotty. All right, I'm going to share this because, bro, we talked about this yesterday. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I do solemnly swear, state your name or affirm, to take full responsibility for my own health. And that is the key statement. It's up to us as individuals to take responsibility for our own health. Um, you know, Sadly, the medical community has shifted and changed to where they're servants to the insurance companies. And our Louisiana Life also, Keith said, okay. Didn't spell it right, but we'll give a pass on that. Louisiana Life. That's those guys down there are really good. They put on some good stuff in their lives. We got to take responsibility for our own health. We've got to be the ones that look out for it. Nobody loves you like you love yourself. Nobody cares about you like you care about yourself in the sense of how you take care of yourself. Now, and our families, we've got to be willing to take that on because the medical community has shifted, as I was saying. Doctors are now beholden to pharmaceutical companies and insurance companies and Medicare and Medicaid and the government subsidies. And so you're going to have to find alternative ways if you want to manage your own health better. Because I've said before, and I'll say again, there's no money in a cure. There's only money in treatment. Uh, yeah, I understand, bro. he said typing too quick and no glasses on. Yeah, but anyway, so that's that. Hopefully, this has been helpful information for you the last few days. We'll continue to try to look for things like this to give. Uh, I understand. We all came out there. Farming said, we're new to this game, but we're learning slowly. Well, hey, but learning every step in the right direction is every step forward is a step in the right direction, and you are going to. You'll find that there is an open community here that is willing to share, willing to welcome people in, and help each other learn. And so, welcome into it, as I said, and hope to see you here more. Our show is also every morning, Monday through Friday, here at 6 o'clock. Tend to try to wrap it up at 30 minutes, and I've got to get out of here pretty quick. I got to go to work, so we'll get there. Anyway, so we're here, and also Farm2Table Direct Show Tuesday nights, 7 o'clock. We are live for about an hour. My bro and Keith down there that keeps chiming in. We do our show, the Farm2Table Direct Show, Tuesdays at 7. So where we dig deeper into a lot of these topics. Anyway, that is it for the day on that. Let's move into upcoming events and things going on. Help you out. So Farming Nature's Way, I'm not sure where you live or where you're from, but maybe some of this stuff is close to you. Upcoming events, February 21st and 22nd, Homesteaders of Iowa Expo 2025, Bridgeview Center, Ottawa, Iowa. Monty Shrunk from the Suburban Sodbuster will be there, our good friend Monty. So if you're in that area or nearby, willing to go, that's the first thing coming up here in a couple of weeks. Boston Mountain Homesteading Workshop, March 1st from 8:15 a.m. to 4 p.m. in Chester, Arkansas. That is a one-day learning workshop. You can find them on Facebook, Boston Mountain Homesteading Workshop on Facebook, and find more details, especially if you don't know where Chester, Arkansas is. Small little town right up the road from me. But anyway, it's a one-day learning workshop. March 21st, 22nd, our big one, the first one coming up for the year for us, Okie Homesteading Expo, Mays County Fairground, Pryor, Oklahoma. Tickets are on sale now, $50 two-day pass. Anyway, kids 17 and under are free, and that is a huge expo. A lot of homesteaders, a lot of YouTubers, a lot of vendors, a lot of top-notch speakers and educators. It is going to be a great one this year. Again, I believe. Arkansas Homesteading Conference, March 29th. Cleveland County Fairgrounds in Rison, Arkansas. $20 for adults, 17 and under are free. You can also find that on Facebook, and we will continue to announce that information here. The Shindig Ozark Living Expo, April 25th, 26th. One day at CS Newton County Fair and Rodeo, Jasper, Arkansas. Homestead Festival at Hardison Mills near Columbia, Tennessee, June 6th and 7th. $75 general admission. Kids 6 to 17, $25. And that's a good one. Ozark Homestead Expo, Marshfield, Missouri, September 5th and 6th. Yeah, there's a big jump there in dates because, things just don't go, there's a lot don't happen in the heat of summer. But anyway, Ozark Homestead Expo, Marshfield, Missouri, September 5th and 6th. General admission, $50. Kids 13 to 17 is $15, and kids 12 and under free, but must have a ticket. And then Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, McAllister, Oklahoma, September 26th and 27th. General admission, $15. They can be found on Facebook under Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous, or good morning, Regina Henderson. Glad to see you in with us this morning. But anyway, also Oklahoma Homestead Rendezvous.org. And Homesteaders of America Conference up to, okay, my phone, that's worked. Anyway, October 10th and 11th. I went back and looked at the dates. October 10th and 11th, Front Royal, Virginia. Tickets on sale now, $50 for a two-day pass. These do sell out quickly. The kids, if I remember, they do need a ticket, even if they're the ones that are, the free ticket, they still don't have a ticket. But you can go to Homesteaders of America Conference 2025 on the old Google search machine or the old DuckDuckGo or wherever you do your searching, and you will find that information very quickly. But anyway, they do still have tickets on sale. I checked last night, but they are selling. Anyway. Couple of things right quick here in that you see over in the comments, and they're also down in our description. Buy a local grocery list. That's a list of things where you can find local. And then here's the other one: how to find and source local foods. These are down in our descriptions. Just a couple of links to help you all out. So anyway, tip of the day. because, well, we wouldn't be remiss. We're going to slide into the tip of the day right fast before we get out of here. I have got to get out of here. Tip of the day: take the stairs. Take the stairs. It provides you a chance to work your legs, get some exercise, help build toning, get your heart rate up a little bit. Help you kind of get a little cardio going on, as opposed to taking the elevator, which may be easier but isn't as healthy for you. So, tip of the day: take the stairs when you get the opportunity. Pennsylvania, close to Harrisburg. There you go. Well, you're out on the east. We've got somebody else that we know up there close to Pennsylvania area that occasionally pops in. Virginia might be too far. Not sure of a lot of stuff going on up there, but it's not too far. Another person up in the Northeast, but tip of the day: take the stairs. So anyway, glad to have you in. Pennsylvania is definitely a lot of farming country up there. Anyway, there you go. And oh, goodness gracious, just don't trip. Oh, Scotty, just don't trip. Yeah, if you got to take them slowly, take them carefully. Don't want to fall and break things. I didn't say run the stairs, but anyway, all right, folks, I am way over on time, but that is a wrap for today on the Farm2Table Direct Show Morning Edition. Thanks for joining in as we explore headlines and stories impacting our world now and in the future. If you enjoyed today's show, don't forget to hit that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channels on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Rumble. It is the best way to stay connected, help grow the conversation about food, farming, and community. Until next time, keep your roots deep and your vision growing. Good food starts with great people. Remember, we are stronger together. There is the link in the chat right there for Farming Nature's Way, their YouTube channel. Go check them out, everybody. Give them some love, and always good to welcome a new person into the community. Anyway, so we are stronger together. Hashtag. As you go out today, be a blessing to somebody today. And folks, we will see you all on the other side. Remember, tomorrow, before I get out of here, tomorrow is Open Chat Friday. Just a reminder, what that actually means is you guys get to pick the topic in the chat. Y'all put something out y'all want to talk about, a question you have or whatever, and that drives the show tomorrow. Once we get past the reality smackdown and reality smackdown and this day in history, then we'll move right into an area where y'all guys get to direct the conversation. So this gives you 24 hours to think of something that you might want to talk about or questions you might have. We'll do our best to answer it either in the chat or myself if I know the answer or have an answer, and I can usually come up with something about anything. But anyway, we will see you all on the other side, and I'm going to send this over to Hank to get us out.
No humans were harmed in the production of this podcast.